What's going to happen electorally in Greater Manchester and the forthcoming by-election at Gorton and Denton, which is happening on Thursday, the 26th of February. You'll get round-the-clock coverage here on Talk. And let's see how the polls are doing. Joe Twyman is the founder of Delta Poll. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Mark.
Who are the key runners and riders in this contest, would you say?
Well, what makes it interesting is that we don't actually have good data on this, because by-elections are unusual and weird in so many ways and have to be judged on their own merits. And this constituency is very new. And so whereas you would usually go for historical trends, on this occasion we only have one of those. We know that Labour did extremely well at the last election, winning more than 50% of the vote in this constituency. And then Reform and Green were essentially joint second place, some distance behind. And so one would assume that it's going to be very close between those three. But as I say, we really don't know. Gorton and Denton is an unusual constituency. It is made up of two very different demographic groups. And it could be that Labour's vote reduces significantly. It is, of course, very unusual for any government to hold on to seats at by-elections while they're in office. But whether that vote goes to Reform or goes to Green or goes to one of the other candidates remains to be seen.
Well, of course, and it's such an important contest, isn't it? The Tories have announced their candidate, Charlotte Cadden. Well, her votes aren't even going to touch the sides, are they? Jackie Pearcey at the Lib Dems, Hannah Spencer, the Green Party, SDP Sebastian Moore, Rejoin EU, Joseph O'Meara, Matt Goodwin for Reform UK and Angeliki Stoja for Labour. Reform UK, what do they need to do to move the dial in that constituency, would you say, Joe?
Well, they need to win over a large proportion of the demographic, of the white demographic voters. That's definitely clear, and so that means they need to win over former Labour voters. Simply relying on the voters they got last time around probably isn't going to be enough. But I say probably because we can speculate on what might happen, but it is just that, speculation. It could be the case that the for want of a better expression, left vote, so Labour, Lib Dem and Greens, essentially splits three ways, three equal portions, none of which are large enough to beat Reform, who may not need a significant increase on what they got last time, if that is what happens. At the same time, the anti-Reform vote, as we've seen in some by-elections previously, may coalesce around one particular party if that can be organised. But I think what Reform have benefited from is essentially a week of publicity. They were out of the blocks extremely quickly. As you say, the Conservatives have only just announced their candidate. Labour announced their candidate late last week. I'm not sure the Greens have even announced yet. And so there's a momentum behind Reform so far, but of course a week is a long time in politics. There are a few long times remaining.
Well, indeed. We're in a world of known unknowns, aren't we, Joe? Thank you so much for your thoughts on that. Joe Twyman is the founder of Delta Poll. Well, actually, the Greens have come up with a candidate, a very, very politically correct young woman called Hannah Spencer, who we're told is a plumber. So there you go. Can she fix it? They hope she can. Too close to call, but politically very significant, that constituency.